Hello and welcome to our presentation. My name is Niels, this is Lars, and this is Rasmus. We will be talking about a clip from Romeo and Juliet, the new version with Leonardo DiCaprio. And the scene we have chosen is where Romeo killed Tybalt. And Lars, would you elaborate on this scene?
Yes, we meet Tybalt and Romeo in this scene, and it's night. Romeo is very mad at Tybalt because Tybalt killed Mercutio, which is Romeo's best friend, which was Romeo's best friend. Um, it is Romeo is driving a car, yelling, and he's driving towards Tybalt's car, and Tybalt's car flips over when Romeo's car hits Tybalt's car. Um, the gun falls out, and Tybalt gets the gun and is threatening Romeo, threatening to kill Romeo. Tybalt falls down and drops the gun. Romeo gets the gun and shoots Tybalt. Um, this scene very much shows the theme of the theme of this story, this film, because there's death, and this conflict explodes in this scene, and tragedy is much, as there's much death and tragedy, which we see here, and Romeo feels that either Romeo himself or Tybalt must die, or them both must die for it all to be balanced again, because of Mercutio's death. Yeah.
Indeed. Okay, so let's just see the clip. And here we see Romeo crashing into Tybalt's car. Tybalt tries to get the gun. Romeo tries to stop him. Tybalt gets the gun. And Tybalt dies, and Fettermost honorable death. Okay, so I have chosen some quotes from this scene. Well, not all the quotes are in the film, but all of them are in this book, which also is the scene. So, I just find this quickly. Yes. Okay. So my first quote is from Mercutio, which is actually in the scene before, just before he dies, and he says, "Help me into some houses, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague you or both your houses. They have made worms meat out of me. I have it, and soundly to your houses." Okay, so here, when Mercutio gets stabbed, he wishes a plague on both the Capulets and the Montesquieu houses, to avenge his death. Basically, you can say that he wants karma to avenge his death. And when he says they have made worms meat out of me, it means that he has realized that he's going to die, so the worms will eat his corpse. Yes, and the next quote is from this clip, but it's not in the film, it's in the book, which I have right here. And it is, "Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain, away to heaven, respectively Lenethe and fire-eyed fury to be conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again, that late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads. Staying for fine, to keep him company, either thou or I or both must go with him." And this last part is actually in this scene in the movie. So it's quite a long quote. I will go over it bit by bit. Yes, and the first part of the quote is alive in triumph and Mercutio slain. This means that Romeo thinks that Tybalt is triumphant over killing Mercutio, and this angers Romeo a lot. And the next part is a way to heaven, respective lenity, and lenity is a synonym for kindness or mercy. And in the earlier scene, the one just before this one, Romeo is actually nice to Tybalt, and he doesn't want to fight him, which has something to do that he is married to Juliet, and they are family. So basically, what he says is when he says a way to heaven, respective lenity, he wishes this kindness away. So he basically says there will be no mercy now towards Tybalt. And the next quote is and fire-eyed fury to be my conduct now, and this means that he's going to kill Tybalt. And the next part is now Tybalt, take the villain back again, and late thou gavest me, which is also something from a scene before where Tybalt called Romeo a villain, but now Romeo is calling Tybalt the villain, or a villain. And next quote is for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. And he says here that Mercutio's soul is waiting for Tybalt in heaven, and that Tybalt's soul shall join Mercutio's soul in heaven. So basically, he wants to kill Tybalt and avenge Mercutius. And the last quote, which is also in the film, is either thou or I or both must go with him. And here he says that he means that Mercutio's soul has to be avenged, and this is a battle to the death, and an outcome. There must be an outcome. And the last quote, which is another quote, is in the end of this scene, which I will show you now. And here Romeo just realized that he killed Tybalt, and you can see tears streaming out of his eyes. So there might be a kind of regretness. Here comes the quote. We have such nice cinematic special effects. And when Romeo says, I am a fortune's fool, or a fate's fool, one could say it's the same as fortune, a synonym, it's because in order to be honorable and in order to avenge Mercutio, he has to kill Tybalt, but killing Tybalt results in his own exile from the city, so you could call him a fortune's fool. And by saying that, this is all the quotes we had. So now I will give it over to Rasmus. Yes, Rasmus.
The theme of the scene is revenge and anger. Romeo had to kill Tybalt to avenge the murder of his friend Mercutio. This just proves our study point that bloodshed begets bloodshed. Tybalt wanted to fight Romeo, but Romeo refused to fight Tybalt because of his marriage to Juliet. Tybalt becomes even angrier due to the fact that Romeo didn't want to fight him, and this anger is what triggers the fight at the beach, which ultimately causes the death of Tybalt. And this is a classic tragedy, because tragedies pursue conflicts to the point where they destroy both individuals and to the point where they destroy individuals, families, and social orders. We see the exact same thing in our scene, and Shakespeare's themes are ideas that are present forever. Because we talked about this, and as Ben Jonson so neatly put it, Shakespeare was not just for an age, but for all of time. The work of Shakespeare is just as relevant in the 21st century as they were in the Elizabethan age, Because when humankind failed to learn from history, then the same tragedies brought by war, ambition, greed, and political machinations continue to inflict our society, and they just go on repeating themselves. And Lars will finish our
Yes,
presentation.
you will be making a connection with this to Oldtidskundskab.
In Oldtidskundskab, we have been over the same theme, which is tragedy. We've been reading about we have been reading Iliaden, which is the same thing. There's a lot of death and families are being ruined, as we see the exact same thing in this movie Romeo and Juliet. So that's the connection between Oldtidskundskab and English. That's just about it.
Okay, thank you, Anna, for watching our presentations, and we will be joining you in class in about 5 minutes.
We're a bit late.